Graham, tell everybody about the game show that we've been doing.
Yes, we've done three. We're doing every Thursday night, usually around 7, or this week will be 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. There might be some coming on the future that we might do earlier, like 6, because we're going to be people from the East Coast or whatever. But it's a blast. So we've had Jimmy versus Steph. We've had Dave Anthony versus Gareth from the Dollop. We've had Karen Rontowski versus Rosie Tran was our last, which is a lot. All the shows have been a blast. We do fun questions and topics that you've written them. Who said this, Democrat or Republican? And it's just it's a political game show. It's a political vigilante game show. Some people might not know this. I've hosted over 300 episodes. I was a game show host in an earlier life. If you go on YouTube, you can see me with some interesting hair and sideburns and clothing options, hosting the game show Strip Poker or Cram on the Game Show Network. So I bring out the game show voice, Ron, and it's a blast. I mean, we have so much fun doing it. We just laugh our asses off. And I did it a couple of times, like a year or so ago. I did it All Things Comedy. We did it live at a couple of venues, I think. And it was just fun to do. And I was like, let's bring this back online. Because my goal is when things open up, and I need to get a budget for it, but to shoot it like a real game show. I have a studio audience and have the buzzers and the lights and, but it's like those old school game shows in the 70s where it's just a bunch of celebrities hanging out, goofing off. And that's what it is. If you want to laugh for like an hour and a half straight and, hear some fun questions about and learn some political stuff as a sidebar, very much on the side. It's the best because we've talked about this, because as we've been discussing this past hour, it's pretty dark. If we're politically homeless, if you're a progressive, if you're a socialist, if you're anti-war, there's really no home for us. We have no leadership. There's not a lot of hope. There's no like, oh, this will pass. We just got to take these little small victories on a local level. But this is a dark time in history. It's throughout history. There's been really dark times, and we're in a dark time in history, and there's not a lot of hope right now. So I can't.
And there is some.
There's some.
There is some. I mean, I know, like, especially this hour, we talked about some pretty heavy things that kind of make you feel a little hopeless, but there still are reasons to be hopeful out there. There's things going on at the local level. There's things going on in the streets that kind of keep you like, you know what, we can push towards a better tomorrow. It is not hopeless.
Yeah.
But
because they're a little tougher to find right now. That's why I wanted to do this game show, is for myself in particular. Like, it's hard, and you go live 4 days a week. I go live like 4 or 5 days a week. It's hard to talk about this bad, this is awful. This bill got knocked, this corrupt thing day after day after day, and try to find some comedy in there, try to find some humor in there, but it's tough. So the game show is just like once a week, I laugh my ass off. It's like doing Government Secrets with Lee Camp. We just laugh our asses off. So, yeah. So, I mean, I'm a comedian first and foremost. I'm not a journalist. So, when people are like, Graham, you should have done this research better. Jimmy should have known more research when he interviewed that Boogaloo boy or whatever. It's just like, oh, fuck. Like, I used to host game shows. I'm a surfer and a vegan. Jimmy smokes weed on camera. What the fuck do you expect from us? Like, we're like, I mean, I'm sorry. The system is so broken that like we're the best journalists out there, but we're not journalists. We're not.
Yeah, we're comedians.
We're comedians. I'm a comedian. That's
what we do. I mean, people have called me all kinds of like I've been called a comedic journalist, like a journalist, a this or that. I'm like, I'm a comedian. Next, you could call me a writer. That's what I bring to the table. That's what I got for you.
Yeah, I know. I'm a comedian and indie media, political
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, whatever. But I'm not a journalist.
We're comedians who talk about shit we care about.
Right.
Like and this is the shit we care about. Like other comedians, they talk about shit they care about, and it might be like hockey or something, which is, I mean, I love hockey too, actually. But like that's just what comedians do.
Right. And especially as in the last 10 years or so of podcasting, that's what comedians have done. The digital media format with podcasting and YouTube, you can talk about whatever you want to talk about, be it hockey, be it, I did a movie podcast for 10 years and people are like, you're a movie critic. I said, no, I'm not. I'm a comedian that likes talking about movies. I was like, I'm not a movie critic. And they get mad. People get mad like about you didn't like this movie. Like, what the fuck do you care? Like, I don't need your opinion to like that movie. I like Rudy. It's cheesy. It's hokey. I like the movie Rudy. I don't fucking need you to like it. I don't care if you like it. I don't care what your opinion of it is. I like it.
Do people really hate on Rudy though? Is that a thing?
I don't know, but they shouldn't because they're dead.
They really shouldn't. I mean, I've seen that one, Graham. I've seen Rudy and I enjoy it. It's about that guy who wants to play.
Right, but you haven't seen Apocalypse Now?
No.
See,
no, I haven't.
This is where you and I. This is why I get very confused with you. You've seen Rudy, but you haven't seen Apocalypse.
You know, it's fun. I mean, I guess it's becoming more and more clear that I am pretty bad with movies because I finally watched Dr. Strangelove a couple weeks ago, and I loved it. It was great. I'm surprised that movie would not get made today. Period. They would not allow. And there were so many subtle things in there that, I mean, well, they weren't like super subtle, but they were kind of, especially when you put it in that time in history where they were saying it, where it's like, wow, I'm surprised this was allowed to happen. That's awesome. And I loved it. And as a joke, I tweeted and I said, hey, I finally watched it, but I'll be honest, I don't know if it lived up to the hype. And I posted a screenshot of the Marvel movie Doctor Strange. And people didn't realize I was kidding. People were like, people were just like, Ron, no, that's not the thing. You screwed up. Like, even people who I knew, they were like, Ron, do you need me to send you a DVD? That's not the thing they wanted. We thought you knew. We got someone's gonna they didn't realize. And I never bothered mentioning. I'm kidding, by the way, but I think I did say it live instead. But so then I think eventually under that thread, people were like, yeah, no, he actually saw it, but he's so bad with movies. We believed him.
People, Ron, that went, Ron, you saw the movie. I would have, just knowing our conversations about movies, I would have assumed you weren't joking if I would have saw that post. I would have probably called you up and going, hey, buddy, can you got a minute? Are you sitting down? I need to talk to you for a second here. I probably would have had some sort of like older brother heart to heart with you after I saw that post.
Apocalypse Now, that's an X-Men thing, right? Which one was it? Was that one? Was that with the original series?
Oh, this is really getting difficult. But no, to your point though, the reason that movie was made was the 70s was this golden era where the studio system had collapsed and Hollywood hadn't been taken over by the big corporations yet. So movies like Dr. Strangelove and Apocalypse Now, which is a very severe, it's a very heavy anti-war movie, as is Deer Hunter. These are real serious commentary. Like Dr. Strangelove was a comedy and a brilliant one. But a bunch of those movies would never get, that were made in the 70s would never get made now. 3 Days of the Condor, never get made. Talking about how evil the CIA is. Now they'd remake it and so how great the CIA is, you know, like Jack Ryan. It would be none of these movies would get made. There's no way. They would just, none of them would get made.
Ain't that the truth? Well, all right, buddy. Well, I'm going to go through the super chats and whatnot. But before I let you go to your afternoon surf/yoga session, whatever's happening next, let everybody know where to find you if they don't already know. And also let them know about the next game show.
Yeah. So if you go to, well, first of all my stuff is at grahamelwood.com. I'm on YouTube. But I've been demonetized since February 1st, so I can't do super chats or ads or clicks or anything like that. So I post like one clip a day on YouTube, but the bulk of my content, all of it, and there's a lot of free content, is over at rockfin.com/GrahamElwood. And if you do the premium level for $10, you get early access to my podcast. You get Graham Goes to Russia. You get all that stuff. My karaoke videos, early access to you get the game show. The game show is only, I do the game show live, then it'll be tomorrow's at 7:30. I do the game show live, but then immediately goes behind the paywall at Rockfin Premium or Patreon. So support what I do, because YouTube has taken away 60% of my revenue stream. And thankfully for Rockfin, I'm doing all right with the crypto. So keep supporting us. I get no ad money. I'm 100% viewer funded. So watch what I do and support it. And I'm not a journalist. I'm a comedian.
All right, buddy. I'll see you tomorrow at the game show. Looking forward to it.
You got it, man.
All right, man. Cheers.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know